welcome to Raise Sensation. I'm your host, Dan, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I would ask that you please subscribe to my channel so that you can check out some of the other videos I've done. Although I've only just started a few months ago, and some of the videos are not that great. I am getting better all the time, and I'm always covering great books or comics from my collection that I have in storage. And I would especially ask you to check out my Rave Sensation Behind the Scenes Part 1 and Part 2 for an idea about what the channel's about and why I'm doing it. And for today's episode, I'm doing True Crime Detective Magazines 1924 to 1969 by Eric Gotland and Diane Hansen. And this is a book from Taschen Publishing. I've covered one or two of their books already, and I've got plenty more of their great books. They're a German publisher. And they've done a lot of great books about magazine covers, American magazine covers especially. And they're definitely worth checking out, all of them. Diane Hansen especially has a series on men's magazines that is still in storage, but as I pull it out, I'll be sure to go through that on the channel. And like it says, this is True Crime Detective Magazines. So, this book does a great job of covering that. There's some history in it. It is mainly covers, though. And so I don't want to just read off the history that they give here. I really want to give you an idea about how it looks visually. And so let's take a quick look through here. So here, I thought this was really interesting. This is a early comic page that was True Detective stuff. And, it's got that early comic look. At first, you might mistake it for the earliest Dick Tracy comics before Chester Gould had his more noticeable, more individualistic style. They even have a chapter on smoking, because you are going to notice all these bad girls who are on the covers of these things, they smoke a lot. So like I said, and here's the other thing, before they actually get into the timeline thing, they cover things like women in bondage on the covers of these. And don't worry that there's stuff in here that's not in English. All the Taschen books are like that. They have, anywhere from 3 to 4 different languages in each book, but everything that is here in French is the same. It's the same as what's in English. It's not like they have some stuff that you're going to go, oh, I miss whatever that is. It's all the same stuff, just in different languages. So you can see these are some of the simpler magazine layouts for a lot of these, but there's some really great stuff. And the dead man's foot in the doorway. And there's the snake doctor, a guy who's milking snakes there. I have a couple pages highlighted. Let me just go through some of these a little bit more. 1930 to 39. So it's got these great pulp artist covers. There's an Al Capone cover. So yeah, they cover famous crimes, but a lot of this stuff is just like, what would the average detective, what would a case be that they're working on? Tennessee's Riddle of the Talking Skull. I have no idea what that might be about. But yeah, so there's, I like this one too. Michigan's Guerrilla Murderer. I doubt very much that there was a gorilla on the loose, but of course, you got a title like that for an article. you get a cover like that, right? And there's one, the yellow peril type of cover there that were all over the pulps at the time. The Chinese code. So some pretty frightening stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all this bit by bit. Real Detective. The Secret of New York's Massage Parlors. So, Carol Lombard's Bedroom Peeper. Here's one. Like I said, most of these are not criminals you'd recognize or anything from the papers, but here's one on Bonnie and Clyde, or as they put it, Clyde Barrow and his Mall. She's been pinned to the wall by a guy throwing daggers at her. Let's see. I like this. The ladies looking bored. Not too impressed with the cops who are arresting them. I had nothing to lose but my virtue. Bride of sin. So this cigarette dangling there. Sensation. Smash Detectives. White Slaves in Black Harlem. And now here's, I thought this was interesting. So they got these photos, and it's a black and white photo they used. So the blood was, printing up black, but they were laying down some red for the cover. And so they've kind of got some blotchy looking, obviously painted blood that they just laid on top of that. A little cheesy, but hey. Oh, and I like this one. I don't know what she's doing with her hands there. Hey. And then here's some of their, they start moving towards the photograph covers. And Rich Kids Steal for a Thrill Club. Miss Double X and her Killer Gang. So they're covering a little bit of the juvenile delinquency problem. That looks like Steve McQueen there. It's not, but it looks like it. I thought this cover was cool. This is The Sex Kitten and the Man She Rigged for Murder. She's obviously helping him dress up in drag. I don't know if that's how you get rigged for murder, but there it is on the cover. Line up. Double Trouble Dane. And now this one, this model and this cover was used on some, I think on like a refrigerator magnet I had for a while, and I think that some of the other might have been used on some other places too. It's a good cover. You can see why. This one's Startling Detective, and it says a shocking documentary dealing with homosexuality, incest, rape, abortion, and murder. So, okay, incest crime, rape a crime, abortion, homosexuality, yeah, murder is a crime, but, homosexuality and abortion, well, of course, abortion was a crime at the time. Anyway, and homosexuality was illegal in some places, but it's just funny that they have them all lumped there together. And Here is where they're getting a little more obvious about the pinup part of it for the covers. I thought those were cool. They didn't often use photos. Almost all the covers are models, but every once in a while they would use one of the real people involved in the cases. I thought that was interesting there. These are some of the later ones here. Crime Detective, Fighting Street Gang Girls, California's Latest Bizarre Case, Why Go Further Than Killing the Girl, Girls Who Take Dope. All the things that people were worried about. The middle-class folks were all worried about. That's a kind of a... I like this. Requiem for a Pretty Texas Divorcee. Country music to get murdered by. And now, they don't cover the 70s, but at the end of the book, they talk a little bit about it. And these type of covers, where it was even more pronounced peril for the female. I mean, there were some really over-the-top covers done in the 70s for the crime comics. I remember, pictures of models with blood all over them, just paint, really, but made to look like a murder scene, like they were all these murdered people and really elaborate bondage, and it really got pretty wild there in the 70s. But this doesn't really go up that far, except for this last little bit. But even this doesn't have any of those really, really wild ones the really cheap magazines had. The mummified corpse came to court. I'm going to blow your head off. So, anyway, that's a little look at this book about true crime. I'm not as crazy about this one as I am about the pulp and the men's adventure magazines, but I think it's got some oomph to it, and I do like just about any of these exploitive covers. Marijuana, the sex cigarette. Anyway, that's all for this one.